Hi software, welcome to your very first coding at home video. We've done a lot of exercises and a lot of things to just get us into the flow. And now it's finally time to go back to P5. So in this video, we're going to cover two things. We are going to talk about how to save files, especially image files, locally, which is probably going to be news to everybody because you guys are a generation that's very used to the cloud. And then the second thing we're going to do is take those local files, put them into P5, and get them running. So unlike classroom code-alongs, I'm not stopping to wait for you guys to type. I will try and remind you of when is a good time to pause and do this on your own. But I think this video is most useful if you guys follow along and try and recreate the things that I'm doing rather than just watching all of it and then going to a blank editor and realizing you forgot. So the very first thing we're going to do is actually not in our editor. We are going to set up a folder for us to store our files, and then we're going to talk about how to save those things. So there's a few different ways you can do this. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go to Finder. If you guys are on a PC, this probably looks a little bit different, but you do have something where you can view all of your files. If you don't have something where you can view all your files on your desktop, you can actually just right-click and do everything that I'm doing. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a new folder. So there's a few ways you can do this. I'm going to click at the top of my screen, which you guys can't see. I'm clicking File, and I'm going to click New Folder. And you're going to see that it makes an untitled folder. This untitled folder is being made on my desktop because right now I am clicked into my desktop. I would advise you guys do the same thing because that'll make everything very easy to find. If you're not seeing that as an option, if you're on your desktop and you right click, which is either control click on a Mac or two finger click on a Mac, it will also give you the option to make a new folder. So I'm going to call this folder Morgan Images so I know what it is. And I have my stuff sorted, I guess, alphabetically right now, so it shows up right about here. You can see there's funny pictures of my cat, which let me actually, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it in this folder. So if I double click into this folder, it's empty. I'm going to put the picture of my cat in here. We'll use that later. But now that I have this folder set up, this is where I plan on saving all my images. So you guys should be very familiar with finding images by now. We're going to use Google Image Search. You guys are welcome to use whatever you want when it comes to images. That includes if you are someone who really loves photography and you want to take your own pictures while you're at home and upload them into your program, that's fine. If you're someone who wants to do that and doesn't know how to do that, please let me know. I will help you out. So we are all going in our tab to Google. If yours takes a long time to load, this is a great time to pause. And then we're going to go to Google Images. And we are all going to find an image of a puppy to start us off. So I'm going to search puppy. And I see that I get all these very cute pictures. And any one of these would be totally appropriate to save. And I would encourage you to maybe pick one. I'm going to pick this one because he looks fat. When you want to save an image, you need to two finger click on it. And then you guys are going to where it says, ooh, does this not give me the option? Save image as. There it is. So it's very important that you're saving the image and not the website or copying the link address or saving the link as, because that's all going to give you something weird. You're going to click Save Image As, and then it should bring up a box where you can decide where you want to find things. If you're on a Mac and it looks like this, you're just going to click down this arrow so you have the option to pick where it goes. You'll see that automatically it wants to go in my Downloads folder. I want to save it to that folder that we just made so that I know where it lives. So I'm going to click on Desktop, and I'm going to scroll until I see the file that says Morgan Images. Then I'm going to double click so I make sure I'm in it. And then before I click Save As, I'm going to review this name. So this is a really important thing that you guys are going to be asked to tell me more about on your check for understanding. I need image names that are easy for me to type, and I want to make sure I follow kind of the conventions we follow with variable names. So Labrador Retriever MP with dashes in between, that's going to be really annoying to type. I might just call this puppy, all lowercase, no spaces. Please do not hit space at the end. Please don't use spaces at all. If you're using spaces in your image names, it's going to not work the way you intend it to work, and I can guarantee I'm going to see some of you in office hours with that problem. I could also name this puppy with numbers after it, but generally we don't want to start with numbers. We don't want to start with uppercase. If I wanted 2 words, I might camel case it, like puppy running, the way you guys have seen we do with variables. But for now, I'm just going to call this puppy, and I'm going to click save. So if you guys have not done that, I'm going to ask you right now to pause this video, go back, find an image, save the image, and then come back here when you're ready. Okay, so since I'm not pausing, this puppy is beautiful, but one thing I noticed about this puppy is he has a background. And I don't love the idea of backgrounds all the time with images, because when I put them in my sketch, it's going to have like the box of the background around it. And if I'm trying to layer images on top of each other, that might get really annoying. So if I'm doing a Google image search and I want to find something without a background, I can go to Tools, and you'll see under here color shows up. For color, I'm going to pick transparent. And now I'm only getting pictures of puppies that don't have a background, that have a transparent background. And the way that we know it's transparent is when I click on it, you'll see this dashed, like the checkerboard background. That checkerboard background doesn't actually exist. That's just how computer image programs show that the background is transparent. So if I were to put this little Shiba on my screen, you wouldn't see like a white box around him, you would just see the Shiba. So I'm going to go ahead and save him. So again, I'm right clicking, which on a Mac, you hold the control key and you click, or you click with 2 fingers at once. On a PC, you might still have a right click button, or you probably know how to right click on your individual computers. And I'm going down not to save link as, but to save image as. And I'm going to go ahead and call this puppy 2. Now the other thing I want to draw your attention to is at the bottom, you'll see that it's picking a format for our images. All images have specific image formats. So ones that you guys are probably going to be using in this class are PNG, JPEG, with or without an E, doesn't matter. You might use a bitmap, which is a really big file, but it's still an image file. You might try and use a GIF. We're not actually going to get into making GIFs that move yet, but eventually you might. And all of those are great options. If you ever see something that does not say something about an image here, like it says HTML or it says like web file, that is probably not something that's going to work with your program, and you probably clicked the wrong button. So use that to help you out. So once I have puppy 2, I'm going to go ahead and save. And now you'll see at the bottom, it's showing me that it downloaded 2 files. I can confirm that one is a .jpeg and one is a .png, and those are both image types. And then I'm going to go work on getting those into P5. So I'm actually going to end this video because it wound up a little longer than I want, and I'm going to make the P5 stuff in a separate one. So once you have saved your images, then you can pause and go back to P5. See you soon.